Hey internet friends, we are back again with another video for you today. Now everything in this video is my opinion only. Nothing is taken factual unless it is stated in the actual video as factual. We are going over the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case, the two missing children. As you know, Miss Belinda Gray, the bio grandmother for Jack and Lilly, spoke on a channel called It's a Criming Shame the other night, and I want to go over a few of those clips with you. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below. I want to know what you think.
And he also told me that Malehya called the school at 6:18. He said he didn't even know the kids were going to be kept home that day. But she called the school at 6:18, and he had that proof on his phone. And I asked him if he gave that to the police.
Okay, Malehya supposedly called the school at 6:18, but she used Daniel's phone. What Daniel had asked her, if he didn't know the kids were going to be home that day, why are you using my phone? And if the story is true about Malehya bringing the kids to the road, wouldn't she had been by the road at 6:18 to supposedly give her kids away to somebody? At this time, Janie had just received a phone call from her brother Ron at 6:15.
The information that she gave the police, right, and she showed me everything, right, from the little blueprint where she was shoveling gravel out of the bank the night before that was wet, and right, she showed me everything, right, where Malehya was standing and walking with the baby in her arms, and the whole story, right through and through, and she showed me all that, and that to me coincides.
Wow, there's so much filler words in his statements. Anyways, so he told us Janie only heard Malehya, but now supposedly she saw Malehya standing there where Janie supposedly filled the pothole the night before, holding the baby Meadow on her hip. So does this make any sense to you?
Actually sleeping that heavy or anything the first morning because her Ron, her brother, had called her at 6:10 a.m. in the morning, and she heard the phone ringing and got up and never caught it, but then she called him right back at something like 6:15, and that's on her phone. So Janie was already up and stirring around a little bit when she heard Malehya come out the back door.
That was around 6:15. Right.
Right.
Well, maybe that's why Malehya was out by the driveway, because she called the school at 6:18 exactly.
Malehya called the school twice, once at 6:17 and never got through, and once at 6:19. But this is what I talk about, little particulars that mean nothing to me.
Now, okay, but Daniel told me that Thursday she called the school at 6:17.
Yeah, one was Thursday, one was Friday.
Right. Friday she called the school at 6:18.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know the reception around the property, I couldn't use my phone, but if I stood out in a certain part out by her driveway, it would pick up reception. So when she was...
Sonny knows, Sonny knows that I didn't concern myself with those minutes. She actually straightened me out on how important timeline is. But it is important. Yeah. But right now I'm gonna there's a couple things I'd really like to let rip on the RCMP. I'd really love to. And I think Kent sort of missed. I think he's forgetting a little conversation we had as to why, because after I got out of court this morning, I think was it this morning I called Kent after I got. Oh no, I think it was before I went to.
Yeah, you called me before.
Okay, Friday morning, Janie wasn't really asleep. She gets a missed phone call at 6:10 by her brother Ron. Then shortly calls him back at 6:15 a.m. I guess they talk. I don't know. But in this time, Malehya, within the next 3 minutes, was supposedly at the end of the driveway calling the children's school, Jack and Lilly School, to let them know that they would not be there today. Okay? Now, as you continue to listen to Derwood, he deflects again. He changes the subject after talking about the timeline. In my honest opinion, they don't want you to know the timeline. And you can hear the grandmother Belinda. She is very concerned, and I'm concerned for her. The timeline is very important in this case.
Right along with Janie as far as being totally truthful in their views. Now, and thank you very much, Belinda, for allowing me to phone in or to talk. And now I go silent until I'm allowed to talk again, or if somebody, if you have a question for me, Belinda, that I can answer, I'd be glad to. Now, and out of total respect for you, Belinda, I'm done already. I'll stay on the line, but I will not interrupt.
Okay, good, because I do have a question. Janie is a very strong woman. I've seen that a couple of times that I was there, that she is a very strong-willed woman. Why would she have not come forward sooner? If she believed in her heart Malehya did this, why would she have not put it out sooner? Because I know I would have.
I cannot even explain to you how frustrated I am for the grandmother Belinda. I'm sorry that these people are gaslighting you and sending you on a rabbit trail down the rabbit hole just to figure out what happened to your grandchildren. Now, Belinda says Janie is a very strong-willed woman. She's saying it politely. What she means is she's stubborn and seems dishonest, in my opinion, that she wouldn't come out in the beginning and tell people what actually happened if it actually happened. This grandmother deserves truthful answers.
I'm the grandmother on the biological father's side. And right away she apologized. She apologized profusely, and then she proceeded to tell me that Malehya left on Saturday.
So I'm not trying to stir the pot or anything, but just because you were there, looking back, the fact that they hadn't gotten any bad news and they hadn't found anything, was Justin's reaction, looking back, do you think that was appropriate? Or
it struck me as very, very odd, because I said to my sister afterwards, I mean, I know they were probably somewhat close with the kids because they were there for 2 years, but I said he seemed really devastated. So it did strike me as just a little off, because he really did look devastated. That was the other thing I wanted to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When Malehya stated about who Janie was and who Justin was, she said they live in the trailer out back. She used the words they. And my sister and I afterwards thought, wow, that's such a small trailer. But I mean, people live how they live. So that was the end of that thought. And it wasn't until I seen a couple of clips from the news briefing stating that Justin didn't live on the property. And I thought, well, geez, maybe we heard wrong, but I was positive. She said they.
Well, maybe Darren can clear. Darren, in chat, do you think you can clear that up for Belinda? Do you know if Justin was living on the property during the kid's disappearance? Because she, like Belinda says, Malehya, she swore she said they.
She said they. And then when I heard that Justin has a place up the road, but then I heard Logan's interview being broadcasted where she was on TikTok, and somebody had asked about Justin, and she said, well, no, he's got his own problems right now, that he's in the middle of a divorce. And then right away, bells went off in my head, and it's like, well, he's in the middle of a divorce. Well, then maybe Malehya was right. He was staying with Janie at that particular time. but I still don't know. Everybody is saying that no, he didn't stay there, but I know she said they. And if he's in the middle of a divorce, my mind states, well, him and his wife probably aren't staying in the same house together.
Exactly, right? Because Logan said that on her thing that he was
Yes.
going to, yeah. So
Yeah.
so I can understand that. So maybe Darren can clear that out for us. I'll keep an eye on chat.
Maybe, but I know Darren, when he first spoke to you, I know he stated that he didn't even know that Janie lived there in the trailer.
Oh, Kent.
Okay, I find that very odd as well, that there's no definite answer on whether Justin, Daniel's brother or stepbrother, lives there in the camper. Belinda seems to believe that he does because he's going through a divorce, and as you can see in the map here, Salt Springs was mentioned where Justin was staying when he was married, and Landsdowne Station is where Jack and Lilly went missing. I have it circled in the yellow right there on the map. Now, why is this such a big secret? Why would this be such a big secret? And as mentioned earlier videos about the dog, Belinda was very concerned about the large dog that was on the property. In this entire interview on It's a Criming Shame, it was like 2 hours, Belinda mentions the large dog barking like 3 out of 4 times. And she never got an answer on what kind of dog it was. Could that dog have been Justin's dog, perhaps? Just wondering. But yes, I do find it very odd that Justin was very emotional about the kids being missing. And I do find it odd that there is no definite answer on whether he lives there with his mom in the trailer.
As for the people around her, I know when we come into the driveway, Janie was sitting on some kind of a bench thing or something in the driveway, and I can't remember who the woman was beside her. There was a policewoman standing there, and the policewoman was talking to them. We couldn't make out what she was saying until we got up closer. And Janie was really crying a lot. And this woman was saying to her, "It's okay, Mom. They're not blaming you. They just want to look in your trailer. They're not blaming you. They just need to make sure that there's nothing in the trailer." And she went on to say that there was nothing in the trailer. She didn't want them around her dog. And the policewoman told her that she was impeding an investigation and she would have to get a search warrant. And then I thought, well, we'll just continue on into the trailer. That was the only thing I found just a little strange, that I was wondering what that was all about. When I got inside the trailer and after I had hugged.
So I agree with Belinda here. She mentions Janie very upset and not wanting the policewoman to enter the trailer to search for Jack and Lilly. Now, as we heard in the previous clip that I played, Justin, which would be Janie's son, was also very upset. And Belinda explains as it's like more upset than usual because they're not the bio grandparents or bio parents. She thought this was very odd, and I do too. I believe it's odd as well. What do you guys think? Comment below.